Genuinely cannot believe the Yankees are doing this.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by Bunches. Download the Bunches app today, and when you do, our friends at Bunches have featured the Locked On MLB Bunch in the Discover tab. You can also click the link in the description or the show notes, depending on what you're looking at. And you can join the Locked On MLB Bunch community today. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, it's been what a week. And it's only Thursday.
It's only Thursday. Hey, thanks so much for clicking on the show here today. Guys, don't forget, coming up later on in the show, we have a preview of the finale. Can the Yankees sweep the Tigers? We're going to talk about that later. We also need to talk about last night's victory. First, Stacey, the big news of the day on Wednesday. This is coming from multiple reporters. This is just the prettiest tweet to put it all into one for you from Jeff Passan. He does a great job, as you know. The New York Yankees are calling up their top two prospects, outfielder Jasson Dominguez and catcher Austin Wells. Sources tell ESPN. The 20-year-old Dominguez, a center fielder, and the 24-year-old Wells, a catcher, are expected to debut with the team this weekend in Houston. Stacey caught both of us by surprise. There was Hector Gomez's tweet initially about Jasson Dominguez calling his mom to potentially get a flight out to Houston. And of course, again, this pretty shocking. What was your reaction, Stace?
Yeah, I actually couldn't believe it. In one way, I'm extremely shocked, and in another, I'm kind of not, because it just felt like it was going in that direction, and all signs point to yes. All signs were pointing to Dominguez being called up, and it's amazing. I can't believe it. We haven't seen anything like this from the Yankees in a while, like bringing up people like this in a while.
Or I mean, when you consider everything that's happened with this, in the last 50 hours. Right. Of Donaldson released, Hicks, Bader on waivers, throw Hicks in there, why not?
Right.
Bader on waivers, Pereira, Peraza, Volpe still on the team, and Rortvedt on the squad right now. Like there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of moving parts. I think it's important that we bring this up, Stacey. On the day that we learned this, on the 30th, Jasson Dominguez was called up to AAA on August 22nd. That's 8 days. That's nothing. Mm-hmm. He barely knows where his locker is. He's still walking in every day going, where is it? So this is shocking. So 9 games played with Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He carried over the success here from AA to AAA, 419, 514, 581. He's stolen 3 of 4 bags. He's only struck out 3 times in those 9 games. That's the really encouraging part for me. And we kind of want to talk about what we're expecting out of these guys in just a second. But as far as Austin Wells is concerned, he has not had the same amount of success that Jasson Dominguez has had. He was called up back on July 21st. Slash line in AAA right now, 254, 349, 452. He has struck out 34 times in 33 games. These two guys are obviously very well thought of. We've been watching them all season. We're keeping our eye on them all season. I didn't think this was going to happen this season. I have repeatedly said that on this show. And I think when it comes to how the Yankees have handled their prospects, I don't think I was too far-fetched in saying that they weren't going to be here this season. There are a lot of questions that come out of this, Stacey. Dominguez, we know, has been a streaky hitter throughout his career, his short professional career. Don't forget, just signed in 2019 and lost a season in 20. So he has really not played a whole bunch of minor league baseball in the grand scheme of things. Of course, still just 20 years old. He can play the outfield positions, pretty much any of them. He's a switch hitter, and he's on a hot streak right now. So, I mean, that obviously bodes well. He started off the season very rough. Patience was still there at the plate, which is always a good sign. He was still stealing bags well in the early part of the season. Then when it came to July, he really turned things on after that and has continued that. As far as Austin Wells is concerned, remember he began the season injured, ended up getting a couple of rehab games in Tampa, then went out to Somerset, played well in Somerset, made an immediate impact there, kind of fell off here over the last month or so, got called up to AAA, as we mentioned, in late July, and, made a couple of impact games there, and then has kind of been more, even-keeled and not, tear the cover off the baseball. He has hit for a lot of power, which is really encouraging for Austin Wells. But again, a lot of questions here, Stacey. I think the one that we still have PTSD over is the playing time, and I think more so here, mine falls more on Wells here. I think, Bader gets picked up on waivers. Let's assume that clears that spot easily. And,
Right.
and Dominguez is going to play. But where's Austin Wells fit into this whole equation?
Right. It's really interesting. I know we joked earlier in the week about, or at least I joked, that this could be like spring training because the Yankees aren't playing for anything other than being a spoiler for other teams. So, it almost feels like the perfect opportunity for them because this gives them the chance of getting their feet wet in the majors without major pressure on them. But the Wells thing, they have Rortvet, they have Higgy, maybe first.
So that's the weird thing, Stacey. So remember, it was on the 26th, Boone said that they're going to try and get Austin Wells some looks at first base. He hasn't played there yet.
Oh, great. They're going to do it when he's in the majors. That'll be fun.
Yes. They're doing the Oswald Peraza thing again.
Oh,
and
no.
I've heard that he hasn't even taken grounders or anything at first, to our knowledge, since that time. So since the 26th, they haven't been doing anything with him at first base. He's been DHing and catching, since then. The last time he played first.
Reminds me of A-Rod trying to play first. Do you remember that? In 2016?
Yeah, that kind of, yeah. Well, that's what I was, and I kind of lamented them for not putting Peraza at third base when it clearly looked like they were going to have him at third base in the majors. And this is a more drastic version of that, where Wells hasn't played first since he was in college. He was at U of A, which he left in 2018. He played a little bit there. He played a little bit in high school too. But that's a long time ago at this point. And Pac-12 first base ain't the exact same as American League East first base. That's a little different. So I'm still pretty shocked that again, according to people I know, he hasn't even seen first in practice yet. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh boy, that's going to be really interesting. I really hope they don't do that to him in Houston because that wouldn't be fun. But they will. I don't think they'll do that. I just think this feels like 2016. I've said that before, just because of, getting rid of some people, bringing the kids in, knowing that they don't have anything really to play for, but it's happening a little later in the season than when they jettisoned A-Rod out and they knew Tex was going to leave. And, they brought up Judge, they brought up Sanchez, they brought up Tyler Austin. And it was that kind of like, oh, the baby bombers are here, this and that. And it feels the same way here. But the Dominguez thing, this could only happen in this scenario. Right? This could only happen with the Yankees below 500, no shot of them making the playoffs. So many things going wrong for them. So like I said, there's not going to be pressure on them. They'll feel pressure because they're in the majors, but they're not going to be in a playoff run. So this could be the perfect opportunity for them to get into it and then, be part of the 2024 team.
They both come with downsides. They're
right.
I think we have to temper the expectations here.
Yes.
They have to figure out some roster stuff. Waiver claim Bader has to happen at this point. They do have the 40-man space, but the 27-man when it comes to it on Friday has to be figured out. That's neither here nor there. That's whatever, semantics. But you got to temper your expectations here by a large margin. Jasson Dominguez is not as polished as Anthony Volpe or Oswald Peraza. Austin Wells, again, defensively behind the plate. They're still working on it. They still don't know if he's going to be a major league catcher at this point. He's made strides throughout his last couple of years in the system. There are questions for Austin Wells behind the plate. And I just mentioned, he just doesn't really play first. They're anticipating maybe him being a DH at some point in his career. So there are still a lot of questions defensively for him. We talked about Jasson Domínguez on the base paths. We saw the other day in a Scranton Wilkes-Barre game where he was kind of confused on a play where he kind of took off. Like there's going to be those moments. And I feel like there's going to be a good chunk of them where there will be mistakes on the bases. There will be mistakes in the field. But obviously you're seeing what you got. It's very out of normalcy for the Yankees to do something like this. I've never seen them do something this drastic, so I'm curious to see how it all goes.
Now, a fun fact before we break for segment 2. Jasson Domínguez, people like to do when a kid is coming up, like the lineup the night he was born, but he was born in early February, so there was no lineup. But the opening day lineup of 2003, the year that he was born, Alfonso Soriano, Derek Jeter, Jason Giambi, Bernie Williams, Hideki Matsui, Jorge Posada, Robin Ventura at third, Raul Mondesi, and Nick Johnson. And fun fact, that was the night that Derek Jeter had his shoulders separated by Ken Huckabee in Toronto. So that was the opening night of 2003. And that's when Jasson Domínguez was an itty bitty baby, only barely about to be 2 months old. So if that doesn't make you feel old, my God, he's a baby. That's the other thing. He's 20. He's 20. And like you said, he missed that year with COVID and he hasn't played all the way through, and he had eight days in AAA, and he's going to be playing in the majors.
I imagine they'll be flying today as of this episode's release down to Houston. I don't think they'd be in the lineup in AAA. So yeah. Sorry, Rail Riders. Sorry for your playoff push. You just lost 2 of your best players after you lost 2 of your best players.
Oy.
Yeah. Hey, if you're here on the YouTube side, leave your questions down below. Don't forget, tomorrow is Fan Mail Friday. I'm sure you guys have a million questions about all of this, how it's all going to play out. So let us know down below. Subtexters heard about all of this first. So if you join Subtext, you can get text messages directly from us, and then you can respond to them and talk to us one-on-one. You also get Fan Mail Friday priority. So make sure to check out that in the episode description. There's a free 14-day trial. All right, let's step aside. Yankees did play last night, so we got to talk about that here in a second.
Locked On Yankees fans, I have to tell you about our newest sponsor. It's a new app called Bunches. Bunches is a new app built just for sports fans like you, where you can chat about sports in real time, including Yankees baseball. You know when the Yankees game isn't going well and things are falling apart, although not lately? Well, now you have a chance to go and vent with your fellow fans. Click the link in the description to join the app, or go to the Apple App Store and download Bunches now. I'm telling you, you're going to love having conversations with other Locked On Yankee fans. Download the Bunches app today. When you do, our friends at Bunches have featured the Locked On MLB Bunch in the Discover tab. You can also click the link in the description. You can join the Bunch community today. I'm there. You'll see me there, and a bunch of other people. Bunches. That's Bunches. Find it in the App Store.
Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, don't forget, day game today in Detroit. Final game in Detroit. Catch it on SiriusXM. Sneak the headphones in while you're at work or whatever you got to do to listen to that game today. Download the SiriusXM app. On Friday's show, to the everydayers out there, you guys already know it's Fan Mail Friday. Drop your questions to that pinned comment here on YouTube, or, of course, you can join Subtext as well. Stacy, 6-2 victory last night. Now have won the series. Can you believe it? First series win in August. That snaps 10 straight sets without a series victory. And started with Gerrit Cole. We've been talking about this all season long, Stace. And I've said this numerous occasions, so stop me if you've heard it, which you have. The mark of a great pitcher is being good when they aren't.
Yep.
And Gerrit Cole did that yesterday. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He did not have his best stuff, but boy, he made it work.
Yeah. I was fine with that outing because other pitchers could be bad and be completely terrible. We've seen it with Sevy for most of the season, and it's rare to have Cole have a really bad outing. I know he had a bad outing against Boston that one time a couple weeks ago, but yeah, that's one of the best things about watching Gerrit Cole is, like, you know that he's going to be okay even when he's not, if that makes sense. It's just, 2 solo shots, Okay, that's fine. 7 strikeouts, awesome. And 12 wins. He should have more because the offense hasn't helped him. And his ERA is still where it was. So I can't complain about that game by Gerrit Cole.
Yeah, not at all. And you could tell he was frustrated. He had some pretty emphatic conversations in the dugout with Ben Rortvet. That was interesting to see the shots that Yes got of that. You mentioned the 2 homers. Finally, Spencer Torkelson did something in this series. You've been kind of waiting for that to happen. Jake Rogers hits the other solo shot. I think that was his 16th of the year. The fastball command wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And we've talked about it on numerous occasions on how important that fastball is for him and how he builds off of that fastball. But again, when you don't have your best stuff, how do you get through it? And that's what an ace does. And that's what a, dare I say these words, Hall of Famer does. Yes, I said that. Stacey, you had an interesting stat as well that you wanted to throw out there.
Yes. So Gerrit Cole, his 21st start with 2 or fewer runs allowed this season, and that's the most in Major League Baseball. That's per Katie Sharp, stats guru on Twitter. She has everything you could possibly know about anyone, but I thought that was amazing. he's amazing. That's not easy to do. The 21 starts of 2 or fewer runs. That's Cy Young. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In the bag. Done deal. I've said it for 2 weeks now? It's over. Mm-hmm. It's over. Gerrit Cole is the Cy Young. I don't care what you say. It's over. Done. Offensively, Stace, Giancarlo Stanton had himself a nice little game. Rips an RBI single in the first. Everson Pereira got hit by a pitch with the bases juiced. Still kind of slow for Oswald Peraza right now. He's still trying to find his footing. Ends up popping out with the bases loaded to end that inning. But hey, a 2-0 lead. DJ LeMahieu, another bomb. 5th home run in his last 8 games, Stace. 5th home run in his last 8 games.
What a turnaround. I mean, we spoke about it already, but just it's such a pleasure to see DJ LeMahieu back because he hadn't been around for more than a season, and Yankee fans have missed this. So it's good to see him doing his thing and being the machine that he was in 2019 because, they called him La Machine. That was like a whole thing. So that was good. And I was happy about Stanton because he seems to be picking things up now after he was talking about how bad he's been and how frustrated he was, but how happy he was with Sean Casey and that he liked working with him. And now he's starting to pick things up. So that's good to see.
Yeah. If you missed those conversations, that was on yesterday and Tuesday's episodes of Locked On Yankees. We talked about both DJ and Giancarlo Stanton. So make sure to check those out if you haven't already. Everson Pereira's been coming through a little bit, interestingly enough. He's getting chances with runners on, and he's coming through. RBI single in the 3rd. Gleyber goes deep again. Of course, he did his 7th bomb in August. How many times can we sing the praises of Gleyber Torres? And, of course, back-to-back with Stanton. He hits a bomb there as well in the 4th inning. And the Yankees were running a little bit last night, too. 4 stolen bags in that game. So, I mean, there's very little to complain about here in this series in Detroit.
No. I mean, I know people will be looking for the sweep. If it doesn't happen, don't get mad because they actually won a series for the first time in forever. It's been so long. I was 48 the last time that they won a series.
That's funny. That's funny. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Your bold prediction wins. So that'll be on tomorrow's show where we look back at the scoreboard and look back. But your bold prediction came true. And Kerry Carpenter is going to have to go off on Thursday in order for my bold prediction to be true, which he has, a hit in this series, and he picked up a single on Wednesday night. So I have been way off. What else is new? Let us know how your bold prediction is going down below, of course, here on the YouTube side for Everydayers. I know you guys drop your bold predictions here in the comment section. That's a whole bunch of fun on our Monday shows. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's why you got to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. But yeah, I mean, again, there's very little to complain about. I have no words. They're playing well. They're playing loose. And I'm curious at what you think about this quickly, Stacey, before we move on. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that, they're for guys like now Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells going, well, now there's not as much pressure. Do you think that's kind of like helping the Yankees as a whole right now too?
It might be. They probably are like, all right, we have no shot of doing anything right now. So let's just try and go out there and not be so. Because, I feel like they did have a bunch of pressure on them up until the last week and a half, where it was really like, you guys really don't have a chance of doing anything. So just start relaxing. And yeah, I think that's actually helping some of these guys. And it could be the first time in 30 years that they finish with a record under 500. And, I know a lot of people are going to make fun of that. Like, oh, but I mean, what other team has done that in the last 30? It's incredible. That run is incredible, really.
Yeah. And hey, look, they're only 3 under right now. So like,
I know.
It very well could not be that,
Right.
well could not be that.
Yeah.
They're playing very well here in Detroit, and credit when credit's due.
Mhm.
The series isn't done.
Right.
Can sweep it today, day game. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That's awesome, by the way. That's a good deal. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So if you're a Giants fan or a Jets fan, which I'm assuming you guys are either or, maybe Buffalo, because that is New York, technically, even though us people downstate, we don't think of you guys as New York. No offense. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Back now here on Locked On Yankees, Thursday edition of the show. Don't forget, you can listen to today's day game out in the Motor City on SiriusXM. Download the SiriusXM app today and just search Yankees on there. Stacey, I'm going to ask you bold, straight up. Yankees sweep this set? What do you think?
I think they can. I think they have a really good shot of doing that. I'm feeling good about the possibility. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling actually kind of confident going into the afternoon game against Detroit because they're kind of on a roll and they're feeling it. And, Detroit hasn't really been in any of these games. I know it got a little testy, scary with Clay Holmes the other night, but yeah, I feel like they can. I really do.
Yeah, because like Detroit's offense just has not shown up in the series. Like the Tigers just have not been hitting. Just haven't.
No.
Like, I mean, yeah, you can credit the Yankees as much as you want pitching wise, and we've said that 100 times already this week. They pitched well this week, but I mean, flat out, straight up, Tigers just have not hit this series. Like,
I'm kind of surprised about that because I was worried about a few of those guys when we were previewing the series and thinking about some of the stuff that these guys could do against the Yankees pitching. And, the Yankees have really done well in the pitching department. And again, I know people will say it's just the Tigers, but they're a major league team, people. So,
and remember, we're talking about Spencer Torkelson, and he finally showed up on Wednesday. Like, he had been quiet the first 2 games.
Yeah, they really neutralized him. It's that's credit to the Yankees too, because he was one of the guys I was actually really worried about. And but like I said, I really feel like they can sweep this series. It would be nice for them to do it because they haven't done that in ages. Especially on the road and 4 games. It's not easy to sweep 4 games. No. People, always get mad if a team drops the last game of a 4-game set. It's not that easy to sweep 4 games.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have Clarke Schmidt on the mound here today. He's going to be taking on Matt Manning. Matt Manning is on one right now, guys, so be ready. He's not striking out a ton of guys, but he is totally getting the job done right now. Last time out against Houston, 6 1/3, 1 hit, an unearned run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Get this, Stace, his last 3 outings combined, 17 2/3 innings of work, 1 earned run for Matt Manning, 4 runs total. He is crushing it. He is stellar right now. We'll see if the Yankees offense can continue swinging it a little here.
Could this be another one of those instances where I joked about the reverse lock that one time? When was it? A few games ago. I was like, could this be an instance where the Yankees actually hit a pitcher who's doing well? Yeah. They have trouble with the guys who aren't pitching well, but they seem to hit guys who are pitching well. It's just the way the season's going, so you never know.
Yeah, and then it's whenever Steve says a bold prediction, the exact opposite comes true. A la Kerry Carpenter. Again, I can't believe I am I going to get a point for calling that I'm calling that? You know what I mean? Like, I made the bold prediction, but I also said at the time, I was like, this is not going to happen now. So I guess either way, I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think he only has 1 hit in this series. and it was a single on Wednesday.
Maybe he'll go off on Thursday.
And the Tigers still lose like 10-4 or whatever. Well, I do need him to drive in 5.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But you said series, right? And you figure 4-game series, and with the way he was hitting, it wasn't that outlandish. It was bold, but it wasn't outlandish to think that maybe he could do that. It's just,
I think so. I've been thinking about my bold prediction strategy moving forward here. We are very quickly running out of series, especially we only do the bold predictions on Monday shows.
Yeah.
For a new series or whenever the new week series starts. We don't do them on the weekends. So I think I'm going to have to wager big time because I wagered once and it didn't work. I lost a half a point. Stacy's going to get a point right now for the everydayers. You guys already know what the score is. It's going to be 5-2 after this, unless Kerry Carpenter has the game of his life on Thursday. So I think I'm going to have to double down on Monday to try and get back in the standings because I'm running out of clock.
Hopefully I won't pull a 2007 Mets and blow it down the stretch in September.
Or what was that? 2012? Not 2012. 2010 Red Sox?
11
11
yeah.
Red Sox. Yeah, don't do that either. Well, actually, you know what? Do that. I'd be okay with that. Again, so we don't do our bold predictions on Fridays because Monday shows, you guys already know, are super jam-packed with Minors Mondays and the series and all that kind of stuff. So we don't do that. That'll be on Monday. But coming up on tomorrow's show, everydayers, you guys know, Fan Mail Friday. Drop your questions. It's your last chance. Get your Dominguez questions. Get your Wells questions. Get your Pereira questions. Get all the prospect stuff in. The questions can be submitted in the pinned comment down below here on any of our YouTube videos throughout the week. And that's going to just about do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.